What's going on, everybody? Hey, listen, before we continue in this episode, have you checked to see if you've subscribed yet? You need to subscribe. Come on, if you like these videos and you're enjoying what you're watching, then it's about time that you go ahead and subscribe. Maybe you haven't noticed yet. Check now. Did you? No? All right, go ahead, hit that notification button, subscribe. It helps YouTube to know that you like our content. All right, see you on the next one. Peace. What's going on, everybody? Hey, we're back again with another It Starts With Me, and we've got a great guest and friend of mine, Lydie Paul, that's going to be presenting and coming before us today as our interviewee. So, looking forward to hear exactly what she has to say. I know she has a zillion wonderful things and lessons to share with us regarding healthier families. So first off, let's go ahead and make sure that we take care of a few other things, and that is every single Wednesday, you'll be able to get in contact with us here with It Starts With Me. We are airing every single Wednesday, and that time is going to be 12:30 p.m. We want and hope to see you, or to know that you're watching on our show and listening to some of these magnificent interviews like Lydie Paul. We hope to share the testimonies of individuals who have overcome extreme circumstances as well as transition in certain parts of their life and successfully come out on the other side with positive attitudes and mindsets. So we hope to share those lessons with you. All right. Now, the next thing is that every single Friday, we have the Community Beacon, where we are here at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And during the Community Beacon, we love to share lessons that we have learned. And when I say we, I mean myself, as well as the co-host, Michael Seville. Lessons that we have learned to help people to gain a more freer mindset and be able to reach the highest level of themselves and then even excel. And Mike is back again every single Monday at 9 o'clock p.m. with What It Takes. This is where the business mogul, Mike Seville, the king of real estate, drops out dimes and drops out gems of information in regards to what it takes to be successful in business. Otherwise, though, we want you to get ready for Miss Lydie Paul. I want you to know a little bit about her. She is an early childhood educator in Florida. She has worked for over 10 years with children of all ages. She has a passion for helping parents to be more intentional with the education of their children, especially in the early years. She is a wife and mom of two amazing boys, 5 years old and also 3 years old. So she understands exactly what parents face each day. But also as an educator, she knows the resources are available to support parents no matter their family unit. She knows that communication needs to be at the center. She is also a children's book author, and through her books, parents will spend time with their children while learning French. She is a certified French teacher with a specialization in French foreign language for children. She has interviewed more than 100 experts around parenting and education. She has a growing YouTube channel all about family with Lydie Paul, in which she highlights practical strategies to bring communication back at the center of the family. She has multiple courses available online and a free book in which she shares through 5 main accesses how to have healthier relationships within the family unit. Read it now. All right, without further ado, Miss Lydie Paul.
Hi, thank you so much, Joel.
It's so good to have you here with me. I thank you again for being on the show. And like I was saying in the backstage, you were the one who gave me my first interview when I first got the Tenacity Foundation started. And I definitely appreciate that.
Oh, I love to hear that. You know, I really enjoy your LinkedIn post because it was about fatherhood. And you were such an inspiration. And I said, I need this guy on my show. So thank you for everything that you are doing.
Ah, that's sweet. Thank you again. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what you have going on right now, because you are busy, you're productive, you are a master at your craft. So what do you have going on?
So right now I have that YouTube channel that I am taking time to build. I want to talk about all topics that family will encounter. And I believe that it's important to have communication back in center. A communication with our children should start as early as they can speak back to us. Sometimes we think that it's too early to talk about certain subject, but when you know how to address it, everything needs to be age appropriate. So as soon as you know how to handle those topics, we'll be able to talk about it. And I believe that the earlier we're doing it, the better it is for the family unit. And when we do that, we can increase good behavior and have less and less challenging, between parents and children.
I think that's a mouthful right there, you know, and I definitely agree with that. As part of my 4 C's, one of them is communication,
Yes.
and every single relationship is communication is very important. It's like paramount that we both learn how to speak well as receive what is being spoken. So I think that that's amazing that that's what you're helping parents and their children with.
Yes, and it is so important to know how to introduce those conversations. What I love to talk is to have those family meetings. When you have, to give you an example, when you have challenging behavior in your child, it's better to not deal with it while your child is having a hard time, being wild and everything. It's better to talk about it during family meeting. So when you have those family meetings, everybody sit down and everybody has the opportunity to share and to explain what's going on, because most of the time when an individual is acting a certain way, is because there is something that we don't want really to talk about, or we don't feel comfortable. So during those family meetings, there is a proper way of doing it. The first step is to highlight, great moment, for example, or what did you accomplish that you're proud, so we can celebrate you. So this is the first step. Then you can say, okay, I noticed that we have a hard time cleaning up, or we have a hard time talking nicely or being kind, or we have a hard time doing our homework. So this is, now during that time that we talk about the good, but also those, bad. But I don't want to say bad. I want to talk about more things that we need to improve. So now the child is not feeling that, oh, you're always against me. No, because this is the time that we are talking. If you have something to say about me, sometimes my son say, you don't listen. And I say, I don't listen. Sorry about that. Okay, tell me. Because now, is the time that everybody can be heard, and also we can address all the issues. So I had the moment that I said to my children, okay, I noticed that we don't clean up. So what can we do to resolve it? So now they're giving me solution, So they're giving me solution while they're telling me that you want us to clean up, but we're not done playing. I didn't know that, they needed more time. So now this is the time that, we can really talk, that we can really put something together. But if we don't know how to address those situations, we cannot start a conversation. And that's why I have my YouTube channel. So now we can talk about it. If you are a single parent, or if you co-parent, or if you want if you have child with special need, any topic that is important for you, I want to talk about it, and I want to give you to bring the experts so you can hear and understand what are the resources available, so now you can have that healthier family relationship.
I think that's powerful. It's also teaching your children how to negotiate a better lifestyle.
Yes, yes, Indeed. And it's very important because at that age, and that's why I believe that the earlier you start, the better it is, because now it become a behavior. So now when the child has that behavior, when the child is 4 years old, you're not going to wonder when the child will be 15 or even 21, because the child is in the habit of thinking like that. Okay, when we have a challenging situation, we're not going to cry, we're not going to point fingers, we're going to sit down and talk about it and find a solution. And all everybody can say something, and we're going to see, okay, which one can really be effective for our situation. And when I do that, I like to highlight the natural consequences. So if we want to do that, this is what we're going to have, this is the outcome. But maybe we can have another outcome. What do you think? So now we are in that dynamic now, that everybody talk, everybody try to predict, and we can see, okay, we did that, it didn't work, so let's try to do something else. It works, okay, what can we do to make it better? So that's why everything is evolving. As parent, the child grow. You cannot parent a 3 years old the same way that you parent a 9 years old or 18 years old. It's not possible. And that's why I want to have those conversations, so parents know what is age appropriate and how they can have those conversations.
That's awesome. Because during those different phases of life, children have a different mindset. So actually opening up the door for them to explore their own mindset and to learn these different types of techniques, to actually walk out there in that mindset and have someone like yourself or like their parents, which is very, very important, to support them in the development of making their own choices, makes a huge difference in the type of individual that is being raised inside each and every household. I mean, you're talking about creating adults, little adults.
Yes, indeed. And that's why it's important, because my children will interact with your children, and we all need to be together, at least to teach the same fundamentals. Because if I say to my children, okay, you need to be kind, but then their peers are harsh, disrespectful, it will not feel at ease or comfortable with them. So now we're going to have a division, and then we're going to have a society worse than we have right now. And this is not what I want for the next generation. I want really to have a generation where we can talk about, we can sit, and we can say, okay, we have challenges, but what can we do together to make it better? And it needs to start somewhere, and the earlier, the better.
Well, obviously, it's starting with you right now. And that was an extremely powerful statement that you just made as far as your vision and what you are looking to accomplish. I mean, your vision is bold and it is broad, and it is much larger than one or two children. It's much larger than your own family. What you're talking about is changing the societal mindscape. You're talking about setting a new tone of people being able to agree with each other, or at the minimum, sit down at a table and speak with each other without hate and wrath and frustrations building up so that they want to do damage to each other when they come to the table.
Yes.
This is powerful.
Yes. But this is the essence. As the early childhood educator, this is what we want to implement to our children. We always look at the academic aspect. Okay, you're going to know, the basics, the number, the sound of the letters. You're going to know how to use the body in a proper way to throw a ball, to kick the ball, and everything. Why? Because those are the foundation, so they can have success during their academic years from K through the doctorate, but it needs to start somewhere. So it starts in the early childhood classroom. It's the same thing as well now, when we need to have that social and emotional relation with others. It's important. Sometimes we put it aside, but is it part? and sometimes parents think that it will grow, from the child on its own, just okay, it's just going to come. But no, we need to be intentional. And to be intentional, we need to know about what's going on. So now we can decide, and I believe that this is the word. Parents need to decide what they want for their children. Do not let, I said all the time that to my parents, do not let the society dictate what you want to do. If you want to homeschool, homeschool. If you want to send your school in a private school, do it. If you want to send it to public school, do it. There is resources. You need to be aware of what is available and choose, decide based on your family dynamic. So then you're not going to point fingers stating that, oh, this is the school, or this is the district, this is my neighbor. Now we all need to decide what we want for our family. And I believe that most of the time we are not aware. We are not aware of what is available. We are not aware to whom we need to talk to. And that's why, having conversation with you will help parents, will help, even if you are not parents, but you can now know that this is available and you can direct now a person who need that help to the right person.
Mm. So let me ask you this then, because you're just brilliant. Every single thing that you say is absolutely brilliant. And it's obvious that it is a well that is well nourished, So where did this start? Inside of you, where did all of this come from, this passion?
Okay, it started because I was that parent. So it started when I was pregnant. So to give you a little background about me, I was born and raised in France. So all my family is overseas in France. So I am here with my husband, but it's just the two of us. And I was pregnant. It was not, it was not something that we planned, but we were like living the moment, and we said, oh, okay, we are expecting a child. And I stopped and I said, what I'm going to do? There is no grandma, there is no auntie, there is, I was the plan A and the plan B. That's it. Nobody else. I was A, plan B, so I had to figure things out. And I remember that I prayed about it and I said, what I'm going to do? And I read a book, and they said that in the book there is no unexpected child, but only unprepared parents. When I read that, I said, wow, so I am unprepared. So that means that the kid supposed to be here and I need to welcome that kid, but now I need to level up. I need to gear up. I need to get ready to have that child. So that's why I decided to know more about it. And I said, to know more about it, I need to go into the early childhood field, because I was just by myself. And I said, okay, let's go into that industry. My academic background, it's more business finance. But because I was here and I was not working, so I said, okay, now let's just switch, because I'm pregnant and I don't know much. So I wanted to have that knowledge. And then going into that field, we had training, I had classes, I had tests to make sure that I can care for my students. And I said that those are valuable information. Why we don't share it with parents? Because I did that as parent, but I knew that as parent I needed to go to that industry, early childhood, so I know from birth what to do with my child. And then I said that, so all the teachers, we all have those information, and we just spend 8 hours with the kids. But parents who spend, a lifetime, they don't know nothing. There is nothing. So that's why I said, okay, let me bring those experts, let me bring those resources, those information to the parents, because if I have and I need to be assessed and tested to care for their children, they should know it as well, so they can do it at home. So I can understand that parents don't have the time to switch career and everything. So that's why I said, okay, I'm going to put something in place to let them at least have the fundamentals. So then, if you have a child with special needs, you will go deeper into that. So I have experts that talk about it, and you can reach out to them and ask your question. If you are more into, okay, I don't have special needs a child, but I'm more into how now I can support my child into having better relationship with their siblings, or how can I introduce my child to my new boyfriend or new girlfriend? What can I do? So now that's why now I have that conversation. At school, we have books that talk about all type of situation, but as parents, most of the time we are left alone. So that's why I wanted, to do that for me, but also for others. When I started to work in the classroom, and I noticed that children need the support, that's true. But if when they go back home, it's just, do whatever you want, we don't work together. It's like, as educator, I have to work twice. And I didn't want that for me, and I don't want that for any other family. So that's why I said, okay, let's keep going. Even though my children are growing, I'm still doing that because I can see the fruit of it in my own family. So that's why I want to share that to others. And the information is free. The information is there, 24 hours per day. And that's why I want to encourage families to watch the video, but also I want to encourage experts to come to me, the same way that, I had also an interview with you, Joelle, where you were talking about fatherhood. It's very important as well for experts to have their message out, because sometimes we are all, dispatched everywhere. But also, I wanted to have that platform for experts to say to family, don't go further. I can help you.
I think that was very clear and very well said. You know, you have a couple kids right now. I hear them just a little bit, not a whole lot. And it doesn't bother me. I'm glad to hear them, especially with your type of testimony. I think that it's important, that when people hear you speaking as passionately as you are, that they understand that you're actually taking care of your kids right now, that you're doing the exact things that you're teaching people how to do. And that's very important. What's the newest thing going on with your kids right now? Or if you could share with us a difficulty that or a challenge that you've been challenged with in dealing with your children, because you have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, right?
Yes, correct.
And they're both boys.
Yes, yes. So I would say that the challenging part, because I just experienced that with them, is that the 3 years old thinks, wants to play a certain way. He's rough, he likes to jump on your back, and he likes to play like that, to be physical when he plays. But the eldest is not like that, it's very much, you go on your side, I go on my side, and I just play. And that's what the challenging part, that how can I help them understand that we don't like the same type of games. You like to play like this, but your brother doesn't like to play like this. So now I am saying to the eldest, when he play like that with you, he's playing. So I don't want you to feel that he's bothering you, even though, I can understand, because it's not your taste. But this is like he plays. And same thing when now my eldest wants just to be quiet. So I say, okay, now it's quiet time, because this is how he wants to play. And it's not like, and now I have to explain to the youngest, it doesn't mean that he doesn't want to play with you, that he's not your friend, but it's just now he needs, he just needs to have a pause and have his type of game. So I would say that now I am in that situation. How to make them understand that it's not because we don't like the same game or we don't like the same thing, doesn't mean that we don't love each other. When your child is doing that, it doesn't mean that he wants to beat you like he wants to beat you. He's going to go on your back. This is how he plays. But at the same time, I have to teach my child, okay, he doesn't like that game. You see? So it's really like in between. And for me, it's quite challenging, but I have now to come and to communicate and to let them communicate to one another. It's not only me, because I'm not part of it. It's when they play together, and then they it's going to have like they're not going to be alone because they don't play all the time the same way. So now I have to teach them how to comprehend that they are different, but they are still brother, and they need to love one another even with those differences.
Wow. Yeah. And I guess it's like friction.
Yeah,
Well,
friction. Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I definitely, I could feel it when you were saying that. And I think that that's powerful because, children, the way that children play is the way that they eventually will end up living, right? I mean, would you say that there's truth to that?
I don't know. I need to have more years. As of now, I cannot tell you. Let me see about myself. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that having a 24-year-old, a 16-year-old,
Okay.
and an 11-year-old,
Okay.
that I believe that right in between the age of 11 and 16, that
Okay.
it's a very crucial time inside of a child's life. And once they get to right about 14 years of age, in between 14 and 16, that the child that you see there is very close to the mold that you will see when, at the age of 18 and 20, definitely more refined. They don't change their mind as much right around that age. They
Yeah.
stop changing so much. So when you're talking about this early childhood development, and this is, I'm not the specialist. This is just me, watching my children grow and watching other children grow. What you're saying is so important because the developmental cues and stages, the things that are happening at such a young age, are their building blocks,
Yes.
and the child's mind is building on that. And even though they may get rid of a little bit, at a certain point in time, those things become a part of their being, a part of their
Yes.
mind.
Yes.
And I think that makes a huge difference in who we see wake up in the morning, later on in life. At 17 years old, it's not like this person just turned out to be this type of individual. No,
Yes.
it was like there was 17 years ahead of that we
Yes.
had an opportunity to help curb certain behaviors, and to help with certain types of attitudes. I think that what you're doing helps that.
Okay. Say it again. Sorry.
I said I think that what you do, it helps those types of behaviors. It
Yes.
helps them to, maybe have a behavior that's a little more acceptable inside the household and society. What do you think?
For me, I believe that we all have an agenda for our life and for our family. And if you don't have your own, someone have something for your family. So when you were talking and asking this question, I would say that it depends of what is your agenda. If you have something, if you have a vision, if you have a goal for your children, you will know and you will put things in place to accomplish it. But if not, the government will do it. Somebody will do it.
That I'm sorry, that was a mic drop. Oh, wow. Wow. You know, and okay, Lydie, so let's talk about adults just for a moment,
Yes.
because that was powerful. You know, we all have an agenda for our life, and the agenda that we have of, if we have a vision for our children, then that's part of what we're grooming them
Yes.
to accomplish whatever that vision is. But if we don't have a vision, then the government will.
Yes.
or their friends will, or
Yes.
or some other type of external influence like
Yes.
music and TV
Yes.
and video games
Correct.
will create a desire
Yes.
inside of our children to be something that maybe we don't want to see.
Yes.
So how is it, what do we do as parents? What do we do as parents to help create the most appropriate agenda for our children without making them become only what we think they should be?
Yes, okay. This is complex. It's very complex. And that's why I was talking about it's important to understand that parenting evolves. So at the beginning, when the child is baby, the child cannot do much. So now as parents, we need to decide what are the plan? What do we want to do? Do we want to spend the time with the child? Just little things like that. Can we schedule some type of activities to help the child to develop, to have as much exposure as possible. Then when the child start to become a toddler and everything, how do you, and that's why it's important, how do you the child go by making sure that the child is safe? So that's why, for example, in the home, you're not going just to lock your kids, but you're going to make all the house childproof. So the child can navigate and go to different rooms, but you're going to put the environment childproof. And then when the child become more like a teen, what you're going to do? You're still going to let the child have their own choices, decide, think for themselves. But when you do it, you're going also to put maybe exposure, to have practices. I'm starting to do that with my children, saying that, okay, if that happened, what do you think we should do? Okay, for example, if we go to the park and someone fall or someone push you or you see, so now you talk about different scenario and let the child give his or her answer, and let's say, okay, so now you can train your child and understand what's going on in his head, because now it's just um, um, hypothesis. It's not something that happened. So now the child can say, okay, I will do this, I will do that. So now when that happened in the real life, the child can have that possibility of having their own choices. Okay, me, I said that if that happened, I will do that. Did you do it? So how do you feel? So now you can have follow-up question, because many times we say, okay, I will do that, I will do that, and when it happens, nobody's doing nothing. So now the child can say, okay, I can understand. So now you give freedom, but it's supervised, because the child will know, okay, I remember that mom, dad talk about that type of scenario. We had that conversation. So I'm not going to be judgmental. If there is racism, what do you stand? Are you going to stand with the bully or with the victim? Are you just going to watch, or are you going to take video? What are you going to do? So now you are guiding. You are here, you are watching from far, but you are making sure that your child is moving on their own. And if anything, it's like when you're little and your mom say, yes, you can go, and you look back, to make sure you look back. So you want that for your child. Your child is going, but is looking back. Even me, I am a mom, but I call my mom because I need to look back to her and say, okay, that happened. Okay, my child has a fever. What should I do? And now she's telling me, now with the information that she's telling me, I make my choice. But at least I know that she's still here, that I can count on her. And this is what is important as parents, to know that throughout our child's life, we have different roles. And when we know and understand those roles, that is that we need to be a parent, then we need to be a mentor, and then we're going to be a friend. Sometimes we just want to be friend. It doesn't work. Sometimes we just want to be parent. No, your child is 40 years old, getting married. You're not a parent. You're the parent, but you cannot parent him like call him every day or all day. You see, it's not possible because you're not. He's 40 years old. You don't have that role of parent. But at that age, you're supposed to have the role of friend. But before that, we need to have the role of mentor. So everything needs to evolve. So that's why it's important as parents to understand our agenda. We are here to make sure that our child can survive, can make an impact, not survive, but make an impact and not be influenced and not let all the people agenda in their life. I don't want anybody to tell me that okay, I need to do that and that. You tell me, if I agree, I will do it. So my agenda can go with your agenda, but we need to be aware of that. And to be aware of that is to have that knowledge and to have those tools to understand, okay, as parent I need to gear up, so now I can help my child. And while helping my child, my role will change. It's not good. It's not like a fit all. And then that role is not going to be the how we say, like at the same intensity based on the personality of the child. So if your child is independent, you don't need to be too much. But if the child needs to have that reassurance, so now you need to be here for that child. So it's not a fit all. It's not like something that will just happen. But that's why it's important for parents to have that time to communicate and to know, okay, this child, I'm going to act like that. With this child, is going to be like that. And most important, never compare. Your child is your child. The other child is the other child. And we go through that. And when you go that, at the end, the child will be happy. And as parents, we're going to be proud as well.
Mm. Very, very good. Very impactful. Very strongly stated. And I truly agree with that. I think that is the reason why you started off with saying teaching parents how to be intentional.
Yes, indeed. And it's so important because sometimes we don't see it like that. We don't think that okay, it's just going to happen. But and that's why in my intro, you said I'm a French teacher. Do you believe that I have parents that are intentional? They want their children to be bilingual, and they are 4 years old. I give French classes to 4 years old. And you say 4 years old speaking French in America? Yes, because the parents want them to be bilingual because they know that it's going to be a plus, it's going to be a skill set. So that's why, sometimes we think that, oh, they are too young, or no, it's not important. No. What do you want for your child? If you want your child to have that skill, you need to be intentional about it and provide that skill. Try to do things for your child. But don't think that, oh, no, I'm not going to do anything. It will just happen. You have child that are gifted, so it happened for them. But others need the intentionality of the parents to have things, to make things happen for them.
Very good. I think that's a perfect segue there, Lydie. Tell everybody how they can get in contact with you, what they need to do to reach out to you to get your services, or just to get onto your YouTube.
Yes. So you can go to my website. The website is longer. It's healthier. So healthier because we can always improve. That's why I put it healthier. So it's healthier family relationship singular.com. Healthierfamilyrelationship.com. And I have a free book about healthier relationships because we all live in different families. For example, I talk with experts who give advices if you want to be a foster care, if you want to adopt, if you have special need, or if you just want to have better communication with children with different ages. It's very important. Then I am available as well on Instagram. Instagram is Lydie L, the letter L, Paul. So on Instagram, because it's very funny, I do reels. I love to do reels, and it's a little funny reels, so everybody can relate, and just to laugh about being parents and about what we live as a family. So on Instagram, it's about that. And I have also the YouTube channel. It's all about families and all about family. And on that YouTube channel, I talk about topics that matter for families. So I encourage all the viewers, even though you don't have children, to listen and to know about it, because it might help your relationship with somebody else. It might help maybe a coworker or someone that you know. So this is the YouTube channel all about family. And also, if you are an expert and you want to contribute, because as you said, we all have something that we can give to the world, something that we can share. So if you're an expert and you have a word to say to family, contact me. So you can go to my platform. There is you can DM me on Instagram. You can send me an email. So for the email is contact@lydiepaul.com. But everything is on the website, YouTube, everything is there. So if you are an expert and you want to be part of it, do not hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lydie. I really do appreciate you being here with us. Do you have any final comment that you would like to share with the families out there?
Yes. I want to say that it's very important to be intentional, because as you said, it starts with me. So these channels started with you, Joel, but also all parents needs to say that it starts with me for your child. Literally, it started with you, literally. So that's why we need to be intentional, to keep going. It's not like, okay, the birth was a great event, but it doesn't stop there. We need to be intentional and understand that each phase of our child life is important, and we need to have an agenda. We need to have a goal to make sure that that child can grow and we can have that healthier family relationship.
I think that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Lydie. I really do appreciate you being on It Starts With Me. You are a blessing to me and to many people. I'm sure of it, because of the wealth that you share with everybody. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. Thank you so much.
Likewise. All right. So long.
Bye.
Once again, we've had an excellent show, and Lydie Paul is she's just a sweetheart and bright as can be. I mean, she speaks so well, speaking multiple languages and sharing all of this information. And who would have ever thought that because she became pregnant, that she would actually take the time to enter into an early childhood classroom and learn all that she could possibly learn about raising children. And instead of just going out and doing this job, in early childhood education, she began to open up the doors to parents that they may be inspired as well. That is something beautiful. It starts with me. It started with her. And I just love that I was able to meet her and to have this type of conversation. Remember, no matter where you are out there, whether you're a child or you're an adult, as much as it starts with you, it starts with me. Peace.